start. So welcome everybody. My name is Oscar Romero. I'm the Vice Dean of Postgraduate Studies at the faculty. Just to recall everybody that this session is going to be recorded. We will make it available later in the website. So just to be, you should be aware that if you participate at some point with your voice or whatever during the presentation, it might be recorded. Okay. So let's start then with the presentation for today. We are going to talk about the Master in Data Science. This is a specific session for this master. And basically these are the points that I'm going to cover: the faculty, in case of those that you may not know it, the master itself, and then some other hints and tips to go through the procedure. So I will not go very much into details here because I understand that you want to know more about the master in general, but just a few things about the faculty. First, it belongs to the Universitat Politècnica de Catalunya, which is a public institution. Basically, it's one of the biggest universities in South Europe, and all the studies that refer to computer science, they are centralized in the Faculty of Informatics, which is a pretty young faculty. It's only 40 years old, but in this time, it's become one of the reference faculties in computer science in Europe. The faculty sits in one of the ends of the city. Basically, it's easy to reach the city center. Metro station is close to the campus, and in 20 minutes you can be in the city center. Here, anyhow, you have the overall information about the faculty, especially our social networks, and also our website and our contact information in case you are interested. So our faculty is nowadays being considered one of the top computer science schools in Europe. It's because we've been pioneering in computer science since 1977, and our professionals are highly appreciated. But as I said, I will not go much into detail here because we have another presentation that we did already a few weeks ago, where basically we do an overall presentation of all our masters, and there I go much in detail about the faculty, UPC, and all these metrics that you may be interested. So if you are interested in this part of the discussion, you can just go to this link, and then you will find there the presentation and video of 2024 for the general information session, and you will find there all the details about the faculty and UPC. Now, since I believe that you are more interested to go specifically to the topic, right, which is the master, I will focus on it. So let's talk about the master in data science. And I will try to answer some of the questions that I typically receive in this talk. So the first one is about the relevance of data nowadays, and this is because the world economy is just shifting towards data. This is because it's important nowadays for companies to gather data, process it with the objective of analyzing it. And why this is interesting? Because with data you can make objective decisions instead of subjective decisions. No? So this is a change in the paradigm that companies are going through. And the good thing about data science is that it's generic, it's transversal. It doesn't apply to a single field. It applies to absolutely all of them. No? As long as you can gather data, you can analyze it, and you can make decisions based on objective evidences. But just to provide some evidences, I provide here some sources about the data science, and there are some very bold numbers that are still true, and they are even growing. No? For example, in the IT sector, it's been the field that has grown more in the developed countries like Europe and the States. We still have forecast for a sustained growth of around 20% per year, which is huge, no? And especially these numbers were also true during the pandemic. And importantly, just to show the relevance of this, the European Commission, for example, has developed what they call the data-driven economy strategy, that basically is what they call the European data economy. Basically, they are trying to make that all companies get transformed and they are able to extract value from data, right? So it means that this is one of the main objectives that the European Commission has set for the future. And here you have some bold numbers that they published in this report. Like, for example, as you see that there is a growth in the European Union around 7.6%. This is considering the UK as well, okay? And also that the data professionals already represent near the 4% of the complete workforce of the European Union. No? So it's a field that is growing quite a lot. And importantly, something that it's interesting for you if you want to consider a master in this topic is that they almost consider more than 450,000 empty positions in this field because there are a lack of people trained in data science nowadays in Europe. Further, actors like the OECD stated that big data and data science are key pillars in the future and for the growth and from the economical point of view of Europe in the future, and they also claim that data-driven innovation is key for growth and well-being. And here it's also important that well-being means social good, no? So not only economical aspects. So the role of the data is out of question, and in this same report, the EU, and when they talk about the data market and the data economy, they are just talking about very bold numbers, no? They have 3 scenarios: the baseline, if everything goes like expected, pessimistic, or high growth, no? This is the cases they were presenting. But if we just focus on the baseline, which is if Europe is growing at a 1.5 GDP cumulative growth, okay, this would be the baseline. They are expecting that the increase of data science would go around 5.8% for a total of 550 billion euro, no? Which is quite bold numbers again. So in the end, I use this because many times people ask me what is the impact or the relevance of data real in the economy. I think that it's huge and it's here to stay, and it's not only that it's going to stay, it's going to transform absolutely all the fields and different actors. So the important thing about data science is that it's instrumental. So it means that you can use it in any other field, and it's transforming any other field. So it's a change of paradigm, right? So basically what you want to do is to gather the relevant data to make decisions based on this data. This looks simple, but it's not. Because the first question that you need to pose is, what is the relevant data to make decisions in my field, right? And sometimes the relevant data is the data that you don't have yet. So many times data science starts with side projects that require gathering the right data to make the right decisions, no? So in the end, it's complex. When a company makes what is called the data-driven transformation, typically entails not only getting data scientists, but also getting people who might be later able to generate, produce the data that these systems will consume. That typically is not there. But once you do it, you can accelerate the competitiveness of your approach or your organization in any sector, no? The ones that nowadays, if we need to talk in 2024 about which sectors have received a biggest impact from data science, I would say that the first one is healthcare, right? Now e-health is a big thing. Gathering data to make decisions about whatever thing, if a person can have a certain disease, or how persons react to a given drug, is something that is nowadays well spread, and even doctors know and acknowledge the relevance of data in this sector, but also for others, no? Transport systems, generate new products and services adapted to the customers, reduce the costs. This is also just to optimize, no? Inside the company, and in general, things related with energy efficiency and sustainability. But this is just the ones that are appearing. But now, when you have the data science arriving to a sector and making a big impact, what we have witnessed is that basically there are appearing new names, marketing names, about how this field has got transformed thanks to data science. And here you have names that you may have heard, like e-health, no? Like it's like health based on data science task, smart cities, smart spaces, e-banking, the new video game industry that affects, just adapts to how good is the people playing the game, so that they don't generate frustration in the people. The industry 4.0, where everything is sensorized, and then you use these sensors to predict, for example, if a machine is going to fail, things like that. Okay. So the bad news, though, is that, as I said before, and I already gave a glimpse, the European Commission and several other reports, like the BDBA and the QuantCrunch report in the States, other companies like Facebook and Google are complaining that they cannot find skillful data scientists. So there is a need, but nowadays we are not producing enough of this kind of profile, no? And the problem is that if you check many of the programs out there, they are not meeting the requirements of these companies or these organizations. And the thing is that a data scientist is a multidisciplinary person. It's a person that needs to know a lot about data management, and this is the computer science aspects of the master, but but also about data analytics. This is at the mathematical foundations for analysis. And also you need to have a glimpse of business aspects, because these projects need to provide value to your field. And the thing is that at the end you need to communicate with these people to know how you measure how good is your model or what you are predicting, right? So at the end you need to measure the impact of the project. And one of the important things that these reports, all of them agree, is that data scientists must be able to write code and create systems. So you need to be able to operationalize data science. It means that you need to be able to gather the data, you need to store it, process it, analyze it, and create a system that takes advantage of these models that you learn. Okay? And these are the good news for people who want to start in this world, no? Because then if you get the right skills and you can get into this field, there is a lot of good prospects for you in the future, no? The Harvard Business Report in the past already claimed this sentence that is pretty popular nowadays, that data scientist is the sexiest job of the 21st century. But if you look for other more pragmatical issues, no? Salaries, for example, the salaries in big data science are known to be around 50%, 70% higher than any other IT sector. No? And also another thing that, for example, this has value for me, that I work also in this field, is that data science is not a very redundant task that you repeat once and again. Innovation and being able or up to date with research and what is happening is important, because at the end you cannot do exactly the same processes that everybody else is doing. You need to come up with something that using your data you are able to produce something that the others don't, right? So there is an inherent innovative aspect here. So when we built this master, we took into account all this. Basically what our objective is to foster the students into a multidisciplinary education, meeting the skills needed to become a successful data scientist, and basically we summarize them in 4 outcomes. The student must be able to identify and apply the most suitable data management methods, so how to govern the whole data cycle of data, since it arrives until you generate models. How to identify and apply data analysis, so the knowledge extraction and data visualization is also part of this part. Define, design, and implement complex systems, what I told you before. You need to create things. You need to make in production, in operations, all this stuff. And finally, design and execute data science projects that provide value, even in new domains. Right? So we claim so because we created this master aligned with what our Erasmus Mundus Big Data Management and Analytics Master. This is the reference master in data science in the European Commission. So we participate also in this master. We created this master as well. And the Master of Data Science in the faculty is basically the local counterpart of this Erasmus Mundus. So the Erasmus Mundus forces you mobility. You need to move between different universities during the studies, while the local master, the Master in Data Science, you can stay in Barcelona 2 years if you want to. But basically, if you check the 2 studies, you will see that there are, especially in the first year, which is the mandatory one, there are big overlapping, no? The contents are very similar. So if you want to know the syllabus about our masters, in this website you will find the information about the Master in Data Science, and here you have some information. By the way, this is the presentation and video I told you before. This is the generic one. If you want, it's a much longer presentation with plenty of details that you may want to check if you are not that familiar with FIB and UPC. And here in the curriculum, if you check, this is the structure of the master. Okay, the master has 54 compulsory credits. It means the whole year, first year, except 1 course. And then you have 36 elective credits, the whole 3rd semester and 1 course in the 2nd semester, and then 30 credits of the master thesis. It's easier to see it here, right? So in the 1st semester, you see that you have a blended mix of courses from the data analysis part and concepts from the data management part. What I told you, you need to build both sides of the history. So from the data management, you have algorithms, data structures, and databases. This is a foundations course, especially for people who are not computer scientists or didn't have a computer science background and come from mathematics or any other engineering. Typically here we go deep into how to develop strong and powerful algorithms, because at the end you need to create systems. The computer scientists here in this course, they are split apart, okay, so they don't do this because they already know it. So what they do is what we call an end-to-end data using the data ops and ML ops, which is a trendy way of organizing the whole pipeline from ingestion of data till creation of the pipe. Then the other basic course on data management is data warehousing. Data warehousing is the most basic way to manage data, to do the basic analysis, statistical analysis, no? So descriptive analysis. So if you want to know about mean, max, averages, how things distribute, you can create charts very easily. And this is the first step towards moving to data science. The other three are more in the side of analysis, right? The other one that you have here is also a basic course, statistical inference and modeling. This is a course that, again, you might have seen in the past, and here we also adapt to the kind of student that comes, but this together with ADSDB are courses to leverage the background of the students that arrive. Because one of the important things about this master is that the entry point are several. It's a multidisciplinary master. So it can be people coming from computer science, people coming from statistics, from mathematics, coming from industrial engineering. We have quite an heterogeneity there. So these courses help us to homogenize the background. And then the other two courses that are also mandatory, multivariate analysis, of course, no, with a set of variables, how to predict the nth one, okay? And this is another kind of system where instead of analyzing data sets, you analyze processes. So a process is just a set of steps with dependencies between them, and that you want to analyze the process itself. This is quite a different paradigm right now, because you are used to analyze data which is just a table, let's say. So here you need to take into account the process. So process-oriented data science develops the concepts of process mining and how to apply it over processes. This is another basic way to do analysis. In the second semester, we have 4 more mandatory courses. The first one is big data management. Here is distributed databases, distributed system, distributed processing, okay, for when you need very large amounts of data, typically big data, and you need to process it and manage it. Semantic data management is basically all graph-based data management and processing. This is like process-oriented data science is another way of looking at data. Instead of looking at it at tables, process-oriented data science look at processes, semantic data management look at networks, nodes and edges and things that are related among them, right? So the thing is that when you have edges and nodes, you have topology, and you can just apply graph theory over these kind of systems. And this is good because no other system can exploit topology like graph theory, right? So it's like converging the world of data science or data analysis with topology and graph-based solutions. This is why it's called semantic data management. Then, of course, a basic course on machine learning, and the mining and structured data, which is a basic course on. Typically, you cannot expect that all your data will be just structured. Sometimes you will find unstructured data like text. So how things change, how you should model these kind of systems. There are quite a few things that I would like you to realize about the mandatory courses. The first thing is that we give you a glimpse of different ways to do analysis. We have a statistical base, multivariate analysis. Then we have machine learning. They are 2 ways of looking at the same problem, but from different communities. And this is important that you learn how a machine learner and a data mining specialist would look at the same problem from different angles. They are complementary. But then we have other systems, other courses that look at the problem from a completely different perspective. Processes and graphs, okay? Which are these ones here. And then on top of that, you have data management, of course, and the analysis, the basic analysis, okay? And also taking into account non-structured data. Then it comes the third semester. The third semester is where you decide how to specialize. Look, so in the third semester, basically, we have 3 tracks that basically, if you want to go to core contents that you would like to cover, for example, Bayesian statistics or time series. The second one is applications of data science. This is how to apply data science in a domain, for example, transport, health, okay? And the third one, I told you that data science by nature is innovation and research. So we have courses also just to foster innovative and research-oriented skills in the students. So there is a maximum of ECTS that you can take in every track, but basically you have here the elective courses, which I believe is a very comprehensive list of elective courses. So the deep dive of here you have advanced statistical modeling. This is Bayesian statistics and time series, a whole course on these 2 topics. Algorithmics for data mining is data mining algorithms that typically come from the statistics world how to give it a look from the computational perspective, so algorithms. So how to combine both things. Optimization techniques for data mining. Again, this is basically how to optimize functions, and stochastic methods and similar stuff. Advanced machine learning is the continuation of the machine learning course, and here typically is deep learning and kernels and this kind of stuff. And another one is advanced multivariate analysis, to the one that you already is a mandatory one, and then you have things like complex and social networks, recommenders, so on and so forth. I forgot to tell you, but if you just click in any of these courses, you can see the content, and I just recommend you to check it now. For example, if you will see who are the lecturers here, the competences that you are developing, the objectives, and then the precise contents and how the course is structured, teaching and evaluation methodology. So you have a lot of information here that it's worth, before taking a master, check the courses and see if what you are expecting, okay? Applications, right now we have 3 courses, statistical genetics, language engineering, and data management for transportation, and then for innovation and research we have 4 courses, about one course purely into research. The other one is an interdisciplinary innovation project. This is a project with other universities, people with other backgrounds, not even computer scientists, that you need to collaborate to give a solution to whatever problem they have. Okay? Ethics and viability of business projects. If you have an idea and you want to stretch a data science project, how to measure if from a business perspective this project is viable, right? You can make profit out of it. Well, you have the details there, just follow it, but basically in a quick manner. I already summarized the structure of the master. And the next step is just to show you some master theses. This is the last semester. Our master theses are 30 CTS, so they are quite demanding. We are expecting some excellence level there. So one example, I took a bit of everything. All of them had the maximum mark, all the ones that I'm showing here. But here we have Hongping that was just creating a system just to simulate through statistical models how blood was flowing inside a body, right? So he was using different techniques just to do this simulation, much oriented to e-health, right? This is one of the main exit points that you may have in data science, is how to apply these techniques in health. The second one is given all the data that was gathered, because in Tokyo 2020 for the Olympic Games, when they were just in the sailing teams, they were just sensorizing the boats, and basically this data is available. So one of the projects that Mowat in this case did was just to try to support the sailor decisions automatically based on models that were created on the values that were generated by the sensors during the Olympics. So basically it's a data analysis methodology to support sailors. Another classic, smart systems, traffic forecasting. So once you sensorize your cities, how to predict how the traffic is going to behave. And now this is quite a thing that exists. For example, here in Barcelona, all the rondes are sensorized nowadays, and this is a company that if you pay, they just sell you the data. So this data is available to anybody. And similarly for other main streets inside the city. So traffic forecasting is another thing that is pretty trending nowadays. This is in this case by Juan José Vázquez Jiménez. Vincent went for another direction. Basically, when you have a robotic exoskeleton, how to make the decision if you need to move a finger or not, for example, based on the inputs that you get from the person. No? So it's a pure data science approach to make the decision of making a move with your exoskeleton. The other one that it's quite trendy, Alvaro was focusing on explainability of deep neural networks. Deep learning is a big thing nowadays in data science, but the problem with deep learning is that it's a black box. It's spitting an output, but you don't know why. So providing explainability to deep learning is a must. But this is a difficult task, and this was one of the first projects that we had on this line, and it was an excellent one, as I said, with maximum mark. And the other one is leveraging on natural language processing. That's another interesting topic. So as I told you, there is a course on business processes and modeling business processes, right? And how to do process mining. So Josep, what did here is how to model the process of a company or whatever but instead of you doing the model and the steps, you simply say it in natural language, and from natural language he was generating a correct sound model following process mining. No? So basically this is trendy because nowadays there are a lot of initiatives where your communication entry point with the system is language, and then automatically this language is translated into a structured form that you constrain according to your methodologies. This is now especially blooming thanks to all the MLLs. No? These systems allow us to map in a nice way, no? Natural language to structure. So another interesting thing that you might be interested in is that most of our students are working or doing research while studying. I will explain you what are the options for working or doing research in parallel with the master. But the good thing is that our faculty is a vibrant community. There are a lot of research centers and research groups around. For example, the Barcelona Supercomputing Center and all the groups of research that are in the university, that they are pretty active and they are always looking for people. We have strong connections with companies, with regular job offers, and the master has a 100% of employability. So our students are very good looked after, and they don't have problems to move. Another important thing is that our alumni is not that they stay in Barcelona, they move quite a lot. We have people who have gone to do a PhD in the States, or they have gone to a company in Germany. There are quite a lot of movement in this sense. Also, it's a master with a strong internationalization. So less than 45% of the students typically come from the Barcelona area, and around 30% of the students move away during the master. It means that you can do mobility. Typically during the first year you need to be in Barcelona, but during the second year you might want to move to another university to follow your studies. This is allowed, and I will explain you later how this can be done. And the good thing is that around 30% of our students are engaging in mobility nowadays. And this taking into account that typically the students that engage in mobility are local students, because foreigner students that come to do the master, somehow they are already doing their mobility, right? So they stay here during the 2 years. Most of these mobilities for all our local students. So what to do afterwards? This master has two natural ways to go afterwards. You can go to academia and do a PhD. This is something that many of our students are going for. But also you can go to companies. Here I'm focusing more in the usual positions that they are getting into companies, and here you can fill the gap of data scientist, data analyst, chief data officer, that now is a big thing, no, in many companies, how to govern the data, the life cycle. Data engineer, that focuses more in the data management part, while the data scientist typically is more in the analysis part, the mathematical part, right? But one of the claims that we do here, and companies do agree with this, is that even if you want to specialize in data engineering, you need to know the analytical part as well, because you are going to communicate with these people. So you need to know what is going to happen with your data in order to be effective. And the other way around, if you are going to do analysis, you need to know how you can manage data and how you can process it. So in general, there are a lot of jargon that appear around data science, no? That it's the typical positions that you may want to go for after this master. So after this brief summary of what the master can offer, let me focus on two things that I think that bring a special value from this master. The first one is how to do internships, either in a research group or in a company, okay? And the other one is mobility. Let's start with the first one. So our faculty has a way to sign agreements for internship with companies directly. This is what in our jargon we call Convenis de Colaboración Universitat-Empresa, CCE. Okay? We have a website where we explain everything about the internship, but basically in an internship the student goes to a company to accomplish some objectives during that time. Okay? This web has the information for companies, for students, and also the regulations that you need to adhere. Basically, two important information about the regulations that will affect you. The first one, you must earn at least 11 euro per hour to accept this. Otherwise, the faculty will not sign this agreement. Okay? This is not a problem because companies are very keen on our students and they pay it. We don't have any problem. But if some company comes and asks for free internships, we decline them. It's not possible in our faculty. Okay? Not only for this master, for all of them. The second thing is that when you sign a CCE, the company needs to fill an educative plan. So what is the student going to do and learn during doing this internship? Okay? And this is approved by the company, the student, but also for me. Okay? So I also give green light to this kind of agreements. So it means that it needs to be related somehow with the topic of the master. But this has another good consequence. The thing is that once you have signed this, the company needs to adhere it. It's not that they can change it, and during the internship they can tell you to do something else. If this happens, it's as easy that you just tell us, and we communicate with the company, and they typically react. Since they know it, because companies sign a lot of CCs with us, signing internships with the faculty and companies, I don't know how we sign per year, but a lot. Companies already know, they've been working with us, that they cannot change this educative plan. So you are kind of protected. When you go to a company, you are sure that you are going to do data science tasks, and you are going to get paid for that. In this master, you can do practices that are called extracurricular. It means that the practices, you cannot call ECTS later for them. You just do it for the sake of just improving your CV. There is an exception, the master thesis. We allow you to do the master thesis of the 30 ECTS in a company, in an internship. This is the only exception. This is what in our jargon in the faculty we call modality B or D. Modality B or D is a master thesis that takes place in a company. B is a local company, D is a company abroad. It's when you just move for another country in Europe, for example. For the extracurricular practices, so if you want to do an internship while you are doing your studies, just to let you know that there is a maximum of hours, because of course this is just to get a taste of an internship, is not to get a full-time contract, right? So the maximum is 900 hours per year, without accounting the master thesis, because if you do the master thesis, you need to add on top of this 450 additional hours, okay? So you can do around 1,300 per year, which is quite a lot already, yeah? So internships is a way that students find pretty appealing to start doing internships in the data science scenario in a way that is controlled, because you are supported by the faculty, you are get paid. So this is a quite trendy way to do internships. The other aspect that I want to discuss with you is the mobility and internationalization. And just for the record, I'm presenting these two things because when you reach to the master level, I think that you should realize that you are not a bachelor student anymore. So it means that what we are expecting from you is that you want to get a good professional, either in academia or in a company, right? And it means that you want to enrich your, to enrich your profile. What does it mean? It's not advisable that you take the master like just going to the lectures, passing courses, and I'm done. I get a title. Of course, you can do that. But if you really want to be successful, my advice is that you need to complement these tasks with additional tasks. Like, for example, going to an internship with a company or a research group, or doing mobility, going to another place. This will get added value to your CV. And it doesn't matter if you go to a company or to academia. This will get things that people will appreciate. Okay? It's a way just to distinguish yourself from a regular CV. And the thing is that our faculty is very strong in putting good conditions for the internships with the options for mobility. Take advantage of it. Okay? So this is the good thing about taking a master at FIP. And I'm saying so because for mobility, for example, we have agreements with 205 universities in 42 different countries. You can move wherever you want. And mobility is a life experience. It's not only a professional experience. You will learn how another faculty works, how teaching works in that place. It's not only that. You will need to live in another culture, in other conditions. You will need to mingle with other kind of people. And this will make you more flexible. And being flexible in life is good in every single sense. Okay? So in the Master of Data Science, you can study abroad 1 or 2 semesters. So if you decide to go for 1 semester, it can be either the 3rd semester, the semester of the elective courses, or the semester of the master thesis. Or you can decide to go the whole year abroad and take 30 CTS in courses plus the master thesis. Okay? This is up to you. There are plenty of mobility programs we have available for this. The most popular one is the Erasmus+, right? But there are many others. So there are others with Latin America, the United States, Canada, Japan, China. We have agreements everywhere. And we have also interesting things like the CERN agreement that we send people, students to CERN every summer just to do an internship during summer with CERN, which is a very also interesting experience in life, no? When you do mobility, you just go somewhere else, to another university, take 1 or 2 semesters, go back to FIP, right? And you come back with your transcript from the other university. And what FIP does is just recognize these credits in your local transcript, okay? But you keep getting only one title, the degree of Master in Data Science from FIP. The difference with a double degree is that you do mobility, you go there for 1 year, typically is 1 year, double degree, but then when you come back, you get 2 titles. The title from FIP, Master in Data Science, but also the title of the destination university. So you get 2 master degrees, okay? This is the difference between regular mobility and a double degree, and you should not confuse them, okay? I will get more into detail later for the double degrees. Another opportunity that some of you are not aware of, you can go for an internship abroad. So you can just go to a company that is in somewhere else just to do an internship. So there is some paperwork, but this is possible, and there are frameworks for this. And all these frameworks typically have associated grants. You are paid a bit of money to make the movement, no? Now, for example, the Erasmus Plus, they promised that they are going to pay more. So it will be a bit more money to make the mobility, because let's be honest, what they were giving in the past were like 400 euro per month. I mean, you are not going to survive anywhere in Europe, no? Only with this. You had to top it up with your own money. So now there are movements that they will provide more money for mobility. But in any case, there are grants, but the bad news is that typically you need to top it up with your own resources. And the final kind of mobility that I would like to stress is short stays. The Google Summer Code, the CERN that I mentioned, there are many short stays that you just can go for a few days and just experience mobility. If you cannot move for a semester, at least you can experience another kind of mobility, right? So there are a lot of options, and this is one of the strengths of our faculty. For the year 24-25, because you always ask for mobility 1 year before doing the mobility. So this year already we had more than 200 requests in the faculty for mobility. So, and the students come back pretty satisfied, no? And this is something that we like to stress, that this is an interesting thing to consider. So let me tell you the double degrees that you can consider for the Master of Data Science. I recall you, a double degree means that you do the mobility, and at the end of the mobility you get the Master in Data Science for FIP and the Master degree in the destination university, okay? So these are the conditions to do it with the University of Padova. Padova is one of the oldest universities in Italy, but also has probably the best Master of Data Science in Italy, so that's why we signed with them. It has won the first year of MDS to do this mobility, so you would do here all the mandatory courses and 6 ECTS of elective courses. And then you move to the second year to Padova to do the Master of Science degree in Data Science, so 60 ECTS you need to do there, 30 ECTS of courses, 15 ECTS of master thesis, and finally 15 ECTS of internship, which is mandatory in Padova, okay? When you finish all this, you get 2 titles, 2 degrees, okay? This is the whole thing. It's 1 year mobility, but with the benefit of getting 2 degrees. I put here the link because this will take you to our website, and here you have, sorry, this is in Catalan, in English. So if you put it here, you have all the details, but you have also the pathway. Take a look. This will tell you the courses you need to do. So basically, this is the first year at FIP, is the courses that I was mentioning before, the mandatory ones. But then it means that in Padova you need to do stochastic methods, law and data, vision and cognitive systems, and then you have here 2 to choose from this elective pool, and then the second semester would be master thesis and internship, okay? So the path is already in the website. Check it in case you are interested. The second case is an specialization mobility. This is Champollion, and basically in this university, is a French university, you get specialized in e-health. So this is a specialization in data science for health, okay? In this case, the mobility starts with the first year in UPC. The first year is always the same, mandatory courses at UPC, plus 6 ECTS of elective, but now you need to go for 60 ECTS from a pool of courses and from the Engineering Informatique pour la Santé, okay, which is the degree in France. In this this case, you need to get back to Barcelona for the master thesis. So this is not 2 years, it's 2 years and a half. Be careful, this is a bit longer. Again, if you click here, you will go to our website, and here you have exactly the pathway to follow, okay? So again, if you just follow here, it will be the courses that you are taking there. Even if you see the name in French, don't worry, they are in English, so you are not expected to learn French to do this double degree. And the last one that we just signed this week, because the Georgia Tech people is around, is Georgia Tech. So you will do the first year of Master Data Science here, then the second year you need to move to Data Science, to Georgia Tech to do the Master of Science in Computer Science. Here it entails 2 mobilities. The first semester you will do it in Georgia Tech Europe, which is in Metz, in France. But then for the second semester you need to move to Atlanta, to the headquarters, and spend a semester there. Okay? This is not yet in the website because we just recently signed it. It will be available for sure if you are students, and this mobility will be one of the options that you can take. But for now we cannot provide more information, even if the pathway is defined, everything is done, because it has already been signed. Okay? So all the information about mobility is in this website. Again, the website from FIP is very comprehensive, very complete. Take your time to move around. You will see all the things that you are entitled for being a Master of Data Science student. And here in mobility, you will reach to the outgoing, and you will have all the information about places, all the universities where you can go, the 400 something that I mentioned before, and as well you can see the double degrees and so on and so forth. The only bad side about mobility is that it entails some red tape, okay? Bureaucracy at its best, okay? But because typically for mobility you need to apply to, typically you have 5 options that you would like to go. Then the destination university needs to accept you as well, okay? And if everything goes well, you need to do some paperwork, okay, for the mobility. This takes time, and that's why you need to apply 1 year before moving, okay? Since there are some complexities here, the way that we overcome this is with 2 information sessions. This is from this year, but next year will be similar dates. You will see it's one mid-November, one mid-February. And basically what we do there is explain how to apply, how to fill the documents, so on and so forth. Okay. In February is where the most of the people go for mobility. That's why we have 2 sessions, even morning and afternoon. So this is quite a successful thing. And nevertheless, if you have doubts about mobility, we have a very powerful team in mobility that they are working very much in international relationships, and they will be happy to answer your questions in this email. Another aspect of this master is research and innovation. Our faculty is very strong in research, so most of our lecturers, for not saying all of them that you will have in the Master in Data Science, belong to a research group. So it means that they are participating in active research projects, and it's a way to strengthen your curriculum. Why is that? Well, because UPC in general is a very research-oriented university. So indeed, UPC is the top university obtaining H2020 and Horizon Europe projects. Horizon Europe are the flagship projects from the European Commission to pass information or research aspects from academia to companies. There are millions of euros behind these projects. They are very big projects, cutting-edge technologies that you are transmitting or passing in innovative projects to companies. And UPC is leading by several years already, and one of the top in Europe. Also, we are leading in Spain in the number of startups, spin-offs, innovation, and technology transfer among technological universities. In general, there are a lot of dynamism, a lot of groups working on research. That is also an opportunity for you. And I'm stressing this here because many times students do not know this, and they just find out when it's too late and they are finishing the master and they cannot react. If you're interested in doing research, it's just as simple as looking for a research group you would be interested, contact them, see if there are opportunities, and then you can formalize a participation in a research group, typically in 2 ways. With a grant, there are specific research grants for students, or with an internship agreement, like if you are in a company, exactly the same. Okay? So you get paid, you participate in a research group, you get a glimpse what is research and if you would like it, and it's another interesting alternative. So in the end, FIP is providing a lot of interesting alternatives beyond a very strong master degree, in the sense that you can do internships in companies, you can participate in research groups, and you can do mobility. Also, make you notice that it's a polytechnic university, so we cover all the research areas that you can think of. Okay, so I listed the ones related with data science, so groups in mathematics, business administration, computer architecture, physics, information systems, computer science, so on and so forth. Okay, absolutely everything. Okay, if you are interested in the master, so I will explain a bit the enrollment procedure. This procedure is common for all the UPC masters, and basically it's 6 steps. The first one is just registering in our corporative tool for masters and for academic purposes, and basically that you need to enter your personal and academic details. Once you have done this, you need to pay a tax of 30 euros, and at the moment that you have finished these 2 steps, your application gets to the selection committee of the master. The selection committee evaluates your application and decides 3 things, basically if it's accept, reject, or waiting list. Okay, I will explain later with the periods what these 3 things means. But if you are accepted, congratulations, you are in, right? You need to explicitly accept the seat. Okay, so you need to accept the position that has been offered to you, and then you need to book your position, advancing 300 euros of the enrollment to preserve your position. Okay, why is that? Because this master has a lot of demand, and basically we have a waiting list. So if someone from the main list that got a seat doesn't take it, we move to the waiting list. We don't want seats of that are available to be wasted. Okay, so it's just a way to show commit, because at the moment that you need to advance 300 euro to reserve your position, people decide if they want to do the master or not. And this way, if you later come, you don't lose anything, because this will be deducted from your enrollment. But if you don't come, these people lose these 300 euros. So it's a good way to guarantee that people don't play accepting in several places and then at the last moment dropping, and then we have 10 positions free when the waiting list is very long, right? So we want to avoid this. For the enrollment, it's open from 26 February to 26 May, and there are 2 admission periods. The first one finishes this Friday, okay? And if you apply by the 18th, it means that you fill up your personal and academic information and pay the tax, you will get a tentative answer by 2nd May. If you are decided for the master, or you are a foreigner student that might need visa, I really strongly advise you to apply in the first period, because visas take a time, and if you already know in May if you are coming, there is plenty of time till September. And the other thing is that if you are decided, go for it, because if you will know if you are accepted or not in the master. What happens is that some people that will apply in the first period, we will say here, accept, waiting list, postpone or reject. Postpone means that we will just decide after seeing all the candidates at the end, because we need to guarantee a certain amount of positions available in the 2 periods. Okay, so the first period, the outcome can be accept, postpone, so we will decide later, okay, or reject. Okay, reject is only due that you don't have the right background. There is no other reason. Okay, if you have the right background, it's always an accept. The only thing is that you will be ranked higher or lower, right? So accept means that you are in the top K available position, so you are in. This is what it means. Postpone means that we cannot guarantee yet if you will be in this cutting point until we see the applicants from the 2nd period. Okay. The 2nd period finishes the 26th of May, and the answer is the 9th of June. And here in 9th of June, there are only 2 answers, accept or reject, right? And the accept can be in or waiting list. Okay, but there is no postpone, obviously. It's important to mention that the admission in the masters, well, if you go to the masters.fip.upc.edu and you go to the Master of Data Science, there is an aspect about the admission. Where is it now? Let me show you quickly. Here, admission. So you have you have all the details that we will ask you to provide, but you will see that there is a part that is called selection criteria. This is how people are evaluated and ranked. Okay, And here you see that the academic transcripts weight 60%, the relevance of the bachelor 20%, the background and professional experience 5%, and the motivational letter is 15%. So look, the motivation letter has a big weight. Pay attention to the motivation letter, because sometimes people with very good CVs do very small and non-informative motivation letters, and some people have been just put in the waiting list. Because what we are looking for in the selection committee is motivated individuals that do really want to do the master, that they really want to provide and enrich their peers. Because one of the important things for us in the Master of Data Science is to have different profiles. Diversity is important for us. We don't want 40 computer scientists, and we don't want 40 mathematicians. We want a mix of people, because everybody has its strength. So when you are just coexisting with other people that are different, you learn. Okay? So diversity is important for us. So in the motivation letter, it's important that you show that you are a motivated person that really want to do this master, why you want to do it, what you can provide to all your colleagues, your peers. And we want motivated people that really want to learn and generate a good atmosphere. This is important for us. Okay? So please take a look to the selection criteria that you have here. For the pre-enrollment is again going to the masters fib.dpc, our masters website, go to the Master in Data Science, and you start the first step clicking on this button. When you click here, you go to Prisma, which is our corporative system, and there you need to register if you are not yet registered there, start filling your data, pay the taxes, and you start from there the process that I mentioned before. Okay. One important thing, because we get this is, I don't know if it's a bug or a feature of our system, that basically when you put all your information, personal and academic information, until you don't fill all the fields, the button to pay the tax will not appear. Okay, see, if the button doesn't appear, is that you are missing some information. Okay. So these are the prices for the master. So if you are a European student, your price is subsidized, so it's partially paid by the Spanish government. So the ECTS credit is paid at 27.67 ECTS. If you are non-European, it's not subsidized, and you are paying the whole price of the credit. Nevertheless, the prices for the next year will be published in 24-25 at this link. Okay, but there is no perspective to change. Most probably, I think that we can guarantee they will be the same. Okay, they are not going to change for the next year. Since our master is quite appealing for companies, and as I told you, our students do not have problem to find internships or start working and so on and so forth, one of the things that companies also do to try to lure students is to propose grants. Okay, these grants are specific for the faculty students, and basically there are two kinds of organizations, companies or non-profit organizations that do this. Okay, this is an example of the ones that we had this year. The list of grants that will be offered is always in July, after the enrollment of the master, of those who were accepted. Okay, and basically with these grants, you have two kinds of grants, and please click on it and check the details, because some companies ask you to do the internship with them in order to get the grant, others don't. Okay, and they do it just for marketing purposes, right? So please carefully check to which grant you are accepting. But in case that you are having some problems from the financial aspect, it might be an interesting way to cover your studies. Another thing that I want you to stress on is that social life in the faculty. I mean, this is pretty dynamic, and a lot of things happen around the faculty, and I think it's also important just to do networking. You can do networking with other colleagues, with teachers, with many ways, no? So there are projects that are thought or meant to help between students, like Aula Lliure or Mentorías, but then there is a project just for international students to mingle with local students, which is called SALSAM, basically with the excuse of the language, to put people together so they know each other. But then you have many other activities, and also the associations. The associations are run by students, so the faculty supports it, but everything is run by the students. Okay, And this is also a good way to meet people with same interests. As you see, there are a lot of associations with different topics and objectives, so you might find something of your interest. And also our associations are very active organizing events. For example, Hackers UPC organized the biggest hackathon in Europe organized by students, which will happen in May. We are a few weeks away. And also the Game Jam is organized by our students. Besides that, there are a lot of events, and many of them around the data science world. So you have hackathons, datatons, you have summer schools, events for women in data science. We have also ways that our students visit the Mobile World Congress during the week for free, okay, just to experience the Mobile World Congress, other events like the Advanced Factories. I mean, a lot of things happen that typically we promote in our social networks in our website. Keep an eye there because it's interesting. Also, a lot of talks from very reputed researchers and people that are visiting the research groups typically give a talk during that time, so you typically can attend for free these kind of talks. Keep an eye because there are a lot of added value that you can get from the community. And just to finish, because then I will just answer your questions, is some frequently asked questions that I guess that otherwise I will get during the questions, so I advance them here. The first one is, if I'm finishing my undergraduate studies, can I apply to the master? And yes, you can do it, okay? So the thing is that when you apply to the master now or in 26th of May and before that, you need to provide the documents that you have up to then. So if you haven't finished your bachelor, the transcript of the current courses with marks that you have. If you don't have yet the required English level, because we need a B2 for this master, you also can provide a document certifying that you booked a slot to take the exam in some point in the future. Okay? So if you are accepted in the program and you have not finished your bachelor or you don't have the English proficiency, your acceptance is conditional, okay, until you provide these documents. When is the moment to provide all the right documents? The right documents need to provide before enrollment. Enrollment this year will happen by the end of July, no? So in the end of July, you should have these documents. What happens? Many times, some students are finishing by then and they are missing, for example, the bachelor degree, no? You can provide these documents till October. October is the hard deadline, except if you are a UPC student. UPC students can start the master, thanks to some changes in the current regulation, without finishing the bachelor thesis and with at most 9 additional ECTS. If you have the bachelor thesis and 9 ECTS not finished, but you enroll them in September, you can start the master. This is allowed. But this is only for UPC students. The rest should have everything closed and finished and all the documentation ready by October. If you come from a university or you don't know exactly the dates or you have doubts, please send us an email and we will let you know if with that conditions you are in a position to apply or not and start the master on time for next year. Okay? The next question that we get a lot, can I work and study at the same time? Of course. All our masters, not only this one, can be taken part-time. What does it mean? That if you take the master part-time, you enroll per semester 18 ECTS, 18. So the regular semester is 30. So basically you are taking 3 courses instead of the 5 that typically you would do. So then you have time to work, do an internship, whatever, okay? Of course, if you are doing 18 ECTS, then you will not finish the master in 2 years. Typically it goes to 2 years and a half, okay? Another question that we get a lot, I'm a foreigner student because we have a lot of foreigner students in this master. Can I do mobility or sign internships or participate in a research group? Yes. At the moment that you are accepted in the master, you are, at all effects, a UPC student. And you can do absolutely everything, the same things that another student can do. You have the same rights and you can do absolutely anything like the others. And the last frequent question is that new students that will start the master in September, that they are from abroad, do they have to come in July to do the enrollment? And the answer is no. The enrollment, this is one of the few things that the pandemic left that is good, is now online. Okay, so it means that you will be given a day and a slot time. For example, the 26th of July from 9 to 10. You just need to connect in our website, choose the courses, pay your taxes, and that's it. And it's an enrollment time when you need to decide if you're going to do the master part-time or full-time. Okay? You do it part-time, you can choose at most 18 ECTS. Okay? And that's all from my side. The last thing that I want to comment is that this master has a batch of 40 seats, so we accept 40 people every year. This is a typical question that they get, so I advance it as well. No? So this is the size of the group. And now we will start answering your questions, so please, those online, write your questions in the chat, and then I will read them in order, and I will just answer them. And those here, if you, those that came here face to face, please raise your hand. Monse will bring the mic. Just talk to the mic. This way people at home can hear your your question as well.
Hello? Yeah, in English? Yeah.
Yes.
Two questions. One is, when are the lectures? Are they in the morning or in the afternoon?
The lectures of this master are typically in the afternoon because a lot of our students work, so just to facilitate. The only exception is that some elective courses, in the third semester might happen in the morning, but the mandatory courses are all in the afternoon.
Okay, thanks. And the other question was, what's the main difference between this master and the master in artificial intelligence?
This master is all about data science. It means it's the whole data life cycle. So here you have the data management part is big, while in the artificial intelligence master you don't have anything there. So in the artificial intelligence you have all the branches, the historical branches of artificial intelligence. So it means that you have data-driven AI, but then you have other solutions as well, no? For example, based on logics formalisms or expert systems, multi-agents, these kind of things that are not that related to data-driven AI. You see a bit of everything. If you want to see the difference, which is huge, so typically students do not get confused between these two when you check the curriculum. Just go to our website and check the curriculum, check the courses, and check the contents, and you will see that there is quite a big difference, right? In the Master of Data Science that you will not see in the artificial part is the data management side, but then all the statistical approaches to data analysis, no? The multivariate analysis and also Bayesian statistics, time series. This is something that is more typical of data science, okay? Also applied to certain fields. In artificial intelligence, you have more things like cognitive robotics. This is a course that, for example, we don't have in data science. Things more related to how to behave like a human using data-driven solutions, but also other kind of solutions. But this is a good question because my answer is check the website and you will see that they are very different content-wise. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Other questions here in the room?
Thank you. Just have a question because if you are working and from a job, sometimes I need to work abroad. So is it okay to miss some lecture, like a few days per month, or all the lectures are mandatory?
No, lectures are not mandatory. So what is important is that you don't miss the exams. The exams are face-to-face. This typically happen in June and in January. You should be here for the exams and not be traveling there. What happens is that some courses have practices because the courses at FIP, they are very practical as well. So besides theory, there are a lot of labs and you need to deliver these labs. Some courses, they do it in face-to-face presentations, but the date will be communicated the first day of the course.
Okay.
So just be sure to be available there or talk to the lecturer if he's willing or she's willing to modify this date. But the lectures you are not forced to attend. So, okay.
Yeah, another question, because you said that you have like 40 places available, and how many people try to enroll?
This changes from year to year, but typically last year we had 150, I think, applicants. Would be around these numbers, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, okay.
More questions here in the room?
Hi, I would like to ask, is the class, are the classes delivered online or?
please write your, I'm talking to the people in the room, sorry. Please write your question in the chat, because there are quite a few questions in the chat. I will go in order, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other question here in the room, face to face, I mean? I will go now for the questions in the online room, don't worry. No? You're fine? Okay, let's start with the questions online. So the first one is, I'm studying English at the UAB Language Services, and the deadlines to request an exam are not until May. Is it enough if I touch the registration to the B2 course? Since this is a very specific question, Eric, what I would say is please send an email to the email you see now in the screen, FIP Infomasters, explain the situation, and our secretariat will tell you specifically if this is accepted or not. I would not like to say yes and then it's a no later. Okay, better send us an email, please. Maria Jose is asking, where can we find the recording? The recording, you will be able to find it here. So when you go to the Master in Data Science, so you go to our website, right, and just scroll and choose our Master in Data Science. See here, now you have the presentation from the previous year. This will be updated with 2024, and here will appear the slides and the video for this current year. Okay, Maria Jose, everything will appear there. Andrea is asking, if I'm an economist that have experience in data science in my country, can I apply for the master's degree, but would I not have direct access? So economist in general is, the answer would be no, but in the past we had some economists, but we accepted them in the master when they showed that they have been working with computer science environments, so they have some backgrounds in programming, databases, and so on and so forth. So if you are able to prove that you have some experience, past experience in these computer science aspects especially, it could happen. So I would say that if you have doubts about this, the first deadline is the 18th of April, so in 2 days. Just apply, provide the data, your data, and the selection committee will let you know exactly if your background is enough or not. Okay? Because for an economist, we should know exactly what you took. But in general, if it's a pure economic bachelor without further data science, typically is a no for economists. Lee is asking, what is the definition of EU applicant? Residence permit is enough or has to be EU citizen? In some cases, the residence permit is allowed, but it depends on the kind of residence permit you have. So to be more precise on this, please send us an email to this email here in the screen, FIP Infomasters, and send a copy of your card just to see exactly what is your residence permit, and we will be able to tell you if this residence permit is considered EU applicant or not. Okay. Madeleine is asking, if hello, I'm not a certified B2 English student. What is the process in order to apply to the master? I'm just disregarded. No, if you don't have the English yet, what you need to do is to book a slot to pass the exam. For the application, is enough to know that you just book it, but then before enrolling, you will need to have the certification. So you really need this level of English to start the master, okay? But distinguish application time and enrollment. It's not the same. Slam is asking, I'm a foreign student who is ready to apply, but on the web page it says for foreigners I need to translate them to Spanish or Catalan with an apostille. But my documents are in English, can I apply with English documents? So to apply, yes. Then when you will need to do the enrollment, you will need the other documents, okay? So as soon as you are notified if you are accepted, if you are, you should start finding how to get the other documents, because eventually you will need them, but not to apply, okay? Jose is asking, what if I don't have the academic background? Is there a test to demonstrate that I have the necessary knowledge to get accepted? No, there is a selection committee that checks all the material you provided, so all your academic background, all the work you did, the bachelors you take, etc., courses, and they decide if this is enough or not. If you have doubts, then it's always important that you provide details about what you studied in a course. Because, for example, if there are doubts about your background and there is a course just said, I don't know, data structures, it's good that you try to also include the content of this course, because we see exactly what you were learning about data structures, for example. Lee is asking, are the classes delivered online or in class? So our masters, all our masters, not only this one, are face-to-face. So they are in class. So we don't consider online lectures. Eric is asking another question about pre-enrollment. Does the motivation of the pre-enrollment have to be the same as the motivation letter or a short summary? You can copy-paste the same there. Many people do it. It's the letter what they copy there. Rodrigo is asking if you don't need a visa, is it mandatory to apply? No, it's by no means is mandatory to apply in the 18th of April. So you can apply until the 26th of May. The only thing is that I would suggest that you apply on the first batch, either if you will need a visa later, so you are in calm and without a hurry, or if you are already decided, no, because then you know if you are accepted or not. Deepa is asking, I don't have any official certificate knowledge of English, then my application will be accepted or not. I think I answered this question, right? So if you don't have a certificate, you need to show us that you booked a slot to take the exam, and then before the enrollment, so not at the application type, no, but at the enrollment, you need to provide the certificate. So don't get confused with these two things, okay? Madeline says, I'm an industrial engineer with background in data science and in data management. Currently, I'm studying a master in artificial intelligence. Can I apply to the master? Yeah, industrial engineering is one of the usual paths to get into the master. That would not be strange. And if on top of that, you are already doing a master in artificial intelligence that has some commonalities, I think it should not be a problem. Slem is asking, since the deadline is on the 18th of April, is it possible for our professors to send the recommendation letters later than the deadline, or should it be submitted by the 18th? In our masters, in our systems, we don't have a specific way to let the professors send the recommendation letters straight to us. So they go through you and you upload them. So that's why we don't value much recommendation letters, because at the moment that the same person are uploading them, you know, the sense of recommendation letter is a bit missed. If you want, you can upload them. It will not harm, but by no means I would delay applying for a recommendation letter, because it's not something we take much care of. Valeria says, I graduated in law. Is there any chance of being able to access the master degree? I'm afraid law is far away. You need some computer science and mathematical background to follow, so you would need some education on this level. Deepa said, I have already filled the UPC application, but my application is pending because I don't have any of the English. How much time UPC gives a student to submit English? So the time is till enrollment. So enrollment will happen in July or the latest in October, I said, no? That is when the most you can delay it. So you need to have the right degree to accredit your English level by that date, okay? Andrea is asking, is an academic IELTS needed, or can it be general test? I think we have a website with all the tests that we accept, no, Monse? Yes. We will copy paste it in the chat now, a link where if we find it. Otherwise, you can always send an email to FIP Info Masters. Yes. Maybe send us, better send us a FIP Info Masters an email there, and we will tell you, we will let you know how to find this link where all the English certificates we accept, okay? In addition to my undergrad grades, can I present grades from courses or training in data science? Yes. So if you took other courses or you did more things in the line of data science, this is good, no? Because you are preparing on your own just to maybe fill some lacks you may have in your background. So of course, yes, provide this information. It can be interesting. Next question says, what if my bachelor is not directly connected to this master's, but currently I'm working as a junior data scientist? It's not, okay, we are getting a lot of questions about this. Let me show you something. If you go to here to the admission, you will find here recommended bachelor degrees, okay? So it's not about a very specific kind of bachelor. The thing is that what we are going to check is that you have a strong mathematical background and basic foundations on computer science. And this can be done from a very wide range of bachelors, right? So the two natural ways to enter this master is a degree in computer science or a degree in mathematics. But we don't have, not even the majority of our students are from this bachelor. So we have students from physics, statistics, telecommunications, combines a strong mathematical background and some basics on algorithms, data structures, basics on dealing with data, this is enough. So we are not expecting, this is a multidisciplinary field, so we are not expecting a very specific bachelor, okay? It depends on your background and what you did. Lee is asking, my academic certificate is issued in China. Does it need to be not only translated but also notarized? So just send us an email to FIP InfoMasters, because for these specific questions I think it's better our secretariat precisely answers this question, okay Lee? Will be better. Slam is asking for a TOEFL exam. Should I send the official certificate through edx.org, or it's okay to upload the document? Just upload the document, please. What else? If I apply and get accepted, can I be reset my spot in order to study next year, 2025? No, if you are accepted now, you are accepted for September 2024. If you cannot come in 2024, you're free your seat, and then you need to apply again. We don't reserve or book acceptance for 1 year to another. Oh, our colleague from Administrative Services already put here the link for the English certificates. Thank you, Jose Manuel. So you can find here the certificates that are accepted, the English certificates, okay? Is there any other question? Okay, I'm done with questions there. Any last minute question here in the room? Yes?
Yeah, because I think I have maybe a certification, but I passed it like maybe 15 years ago. But do I really need a certification? Because I've been working for 8 years in English. I passed another master also in English. Can I just prove that I passed a master in English already?
You're talking about your proficiency in English,
yeah,
certificate.
Yeah, exactly. Because,
there are some certificates that do have an expiry date. Is that the case with yours?
I don't remember.
Okay. The thing is that if they have an expiry date, we cannot accept it, because it means that so you need to renew it. Okay. But there are some of them that they don't have an expiry date. So just to be safe, please send an email to us with the one you have, and so the secretariat can tell you precisely if this is okay or not.
Okay, thank you.
Rodrigo Online is asking why the artificial intelligence master is 90 ECTS. Well, because it was devised this way, no? Every master has its own objectives and learning outcomes, and the artificial intelligence is a short-term master, and the data science master goes much deeper in detail, so that's why we decided to go for 2 years, no? So, I mean, it depends. Every master has a different objective, no? Any other question online that you may want to pose before you formally close this session? Okay, so let's close it here. So first of all, thank you everybody for your interest in our master. Thank you for coming and attending. I do hope that you find the master interesting and you become FIP students if you are not already. So see you around, and remember that the recording of this and the slides will be available in the master's website, okay? Thank you again. See you.